A Durham woman called 911 to report a shooting incident and says no one ever picked up the phone.
This comes about a week after Durham stopped sending calls to Raleigh because they said they had enough 911 operators to handle the call volume. CBS 17's Crystal Price looking into why her call wasn't answered. And Crystal, what did you find out?
Well, the city says she called during a time when they were experiencing a surge of calls here at the Durham 911 call center. Now, while the city says someone eventually would have answered, she argues they should have answered immediately.
I heard a rapid fire of gunshots.
Charlita Burris woke up to gunfire early Saturday morning around 4 a.m. It wasn't until the next day when she saw several shell casings outside her home. She then called 911 to report it.
I tried to dial 911. Nobody answered. Nobody answered.
She says it rang for over a minute. And then she gave up and called the non-emergency line instead and couldn't get a hold of anyone over there either. She says she was finally able to get an officer after she happened to see one driving by her complex.
I was in my vehicle. I blowed my horn, chased him down, and told him to come back. That's how I got the police.
Should it be that way?
No, it should not, never.
I reached out to the city to find out why no one answered her call. The city says Burris called during a time where there was a high volume of calls. And if she had stayed on the line, someone would have answered her call eventually. On Saturday, they said 97% of calls were answered within 60 seconds or less. According to North Carolina State Code, 90% of calls should be answered within 10 seconds, and 95% of calls should be answered in 20 seconds.
Knowing that some of those calls are not going to be answered within 60 seconds, is that acceptable?
Those targets are targets that all 911 centers strive to meet. Those are absolutely our targets. That's an average over time. So some calls are going to be longer than that.
Durham Deputy City Manager Bo Ferguson says they are still down 26 positions at the 911 call center, and their top priority is to get those filled.
Obviously, every call taker gives us more capacity and takes a little bit of burden off the folks on the floor, so we're very committed to getting those positions filled.
And I asked the city if they called her back. They said it's not a requirement because this was an abandoned call. Reporting live in Durham, Crystal Price, CBS 17 News.